Good day, my people. It's your coach PK coming at you live from beautiful MSEC, and I'm here today with
Coach Alex.
Yeah, Coach Alex is from France, and he has been here in Australia for a few times now, and he is a great coach. I ran into Alex and I referee Alex's games many times, and eventually we got in touch, and now we are here to run this podcast that we are going to be talking about.
The interactions between refereeing and coaches.
Yep, you heard it right. Alex is a coach, I am a referee, and we get along just well. And we are here to talk about how to interact, how to have a positive dialogue between two people. They have the same goal, which is to facilitate a basketball game on its best. Anyway, Alex, do you have any question for me? What do you want to say?
I've got plenty of questions for you. I'm really excited to talk about those interactions because I think nobody talks about that. And this is really something that is missing in the game of basketball. From a coaching point of view, I see a lot of coaches thinking of refs as the enemy. This is not my case, and that shouldn't be the case. We all work together, as you mentioned it.
Exactly.
There's one goal, one common goal. We're here to make the game go smoothly. I want to win. The other team wants to win. You want to make sure everything goes well. So let's get into our questions. All right.
Yes, we should get to our question. Alex is so right about it, and it's something that I experienced as well myself. We are not here. We're not enemies. We are not here to kill each other. We are here to just facilitate the game. So yeah, let's get into the questions. I'm ready for it. Bring it on.
My first question is personal.
That's fair enough.
What was your reason for becoming a ref?
Well, my vision to becoming a ref, I was a player for many times. To give you the short answer, I say I got subbed off a lot, so I decided to become a ref so I can stay on the game for the whole time. But no, so so I went to play, and as per usual, many basketball stadiums, they need referees. I've been asked to referee, and I say I can try it. I didn't even know that I was going to get paid, so I was just glad that I got the chance to referee and facilitate the game, and it went from there. So, yeah, thanks for the question, Alex. Very good.
Yeah, no problem. Do you have any referee influences? Because, players have player influences, like players they look up to. Do you have referees you look up to?
Of course I do, yeah. Like everybody else, I do look up to a lot of referees, so mostly the ones in the NBA. Scott Foster is one of them, and many others. So just trying to pick up their brains to see what they do, how they react in certain situations. So pretty much all referees are influence to me because they always can teach me or show me something that I wasn't aware of or I haven't been doing in the past.
That's a great answer. So speaking about influence and how you are looking at referees, what do you look for? Like, what do you pick up? So give you an example. I'm always telling my players to watch as much basketball as they can so they can mimic a player or look at their stance or look at their body language, look at their attitude. Do you do the same thing for referees?
Yes, I do. So as a referee, I was a player before I became a referee. Therefore, as a player, you tend to know where the ball is and look at the ball, and so you know when to move, what to do. But as a referee, it's not the same thing. As a referee, you have certain areas of responsibility that you have to look for. So therefore, you don't look at the ball, you look at your areas of responsibilities, and it's difficult to focus on those areas of responsibility, especially if the ball is not on your area. So you tend to not watch the game a little bit and referee a little bit, so you're trying to see what's happening over there. So this is the biggest challenge as a referee, is to concentrate and focus on your areas of responsibility instead of ball watching or watch the game and what's happening off the ball.
That's great. That's great. Do you find then watching NBA refs as a point of reference, do you find that they are refereeing the games a different way than we do in here? I know they love showmanship and then go with the big signs, like technical foul and you ejected, and because it's part of the NBA product.
Correct.
But do you find that on a purely refereeing game calling perspective, do you find that their style is different than European or FIBA refs?
Definitely. NBA in a way, is an entertainment game. That's why you see all these people come to watch the game, and the FIBA refereeing is a purely professional. So they understand it's a team that is set to become a world champion or Olympic champion. So it's purely professional. There is no entertainment. I understand in the NBA, certain plays, they are letting go. Certain players, they get a little bit more leniency because of their title, because of being superstars. While in the FIBA, it doesn't really matter if everybody in the FIBA is a superstar. Everybody in FIBA is there to play and has to be called the game equally.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. There's a referee that I really like in FIBA. I believe he is from Eastern Europe, and there was a great segment on him on social media, maybe during the last World Cup, where from the start to the finish of the game, he just communicates with everyone. Everyone that contests his decision, he communicates. His body language is always in a position of authority, but not arrogance. So he's always available to talk. He always talks in a calm way, and he refuses as much as possible to penalize players for their outburst of emotions. So
Yes.
I will try to find a name for you, but for me that's like one of the ultimate referees that I can think of, one of the ultimate referee traits, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. Well, I need you to find that referee's name because I'm going to go and watch him and I'm going to reference and he's going to become my influence from now on because this is exactly what I try to do. So for many referees out there, we as a referee, we need to develop a character. We need to develop a personality. When we go onto the court, be able to understand you are there to facilitate the game. You are there to be the authority, but also, like Alex said, you are not arrogant. So therefore, you have to be relaxed and be in a talkative mood. So when I have a talkative mood is, what I do personally to be in a game and be talkative is, I give information to players even if they don't need it. Let's say if they're about to pass the ball in, I'll say, player, you have 20 seconds on the shot clock. Coach, you have one timeout left. So you always have to have that personality. If you are too anxious, too focused on the call, too ready to call, you're gonna be nervous. And then when you're nervous, it makes it difficult when somebody disputes your call because your first reaction is, I'm doing the right thing, I'm the referee, stop. And this is the communication we don't need to have. This is the communication we don't want with the coaches. We want to be approachable. We want the coaches to ask us questions. We want to give them the answer. They might not like the answer, but we have to be approachable. And that's up to the referee to make himself approachable. Like I said, develop a character where you can talk to anyone, explain anyone what your call is. Sell your call. Don't sell your call. Make any gestures, go foul, sell it, but also be approachable and talkative, because this is what the coaches need. They need to know what is happening, why it's happening, and sometimes they just need to be told so they can feel better.
That's fascinating. I never thought about that. I never thought about how giving players information or coaches information, even when they don't require them, actually helps sort of breaking the ice,
Correct.
so to speak. Do you find that that's what it is?
Exactly right. It's breaking the ice on a positive way, because if there is no communication between the player and the coach, and the first communication you have is, call the foul. Oh, why is it not a foul? So it's already starts a negative communication channel. So you want to start it in a positive way, and the way to do it is by providing information. Like I say, they might not be needed, but they are information. The coach will probably appreciate it because he's so focused on, coaching, and somebody doesn't think, he forgets how many timeouts he has. Sometimes the player is so focusing on playing, he forgets he only got 5 seconds on the clock. So you're coming across as a referee that's trying to help him to play better, not trying to, like you say, trying to get him.
Yeah.
That's what many players sometimes think. They think the coach is trying to get me, trying to call something on me because he doesn't like me, sort of thing. But if you start telling him, providing him positive information, it starts a beautiful channel of communication, beautiful dialogue, and that's what we are looking for.
Is this something that is actually taught at referee training, or is it something that you doing yourself that you find works for you?
It's not taught. It's all myself. As a matter of fact, I'm running a course in January for all referees that are listening to this right now. Contact me on the description down below. I'm running a course about refereeing and how to be a better referee. As a matter of fact, it's called How to Become an Elite Referee, to go from average referee to elite referee. I need you to tune on this course, and I can guarantee you'll learn a few things that you never learned before.
I might come here too.
You should.
Because I might learn a few things about how to interact even better with referees.
Exactly right.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. That's really good. So we talk a lot in the athlete world and the sports world about mental preparation. And I know that I've seen you physically prepare for games. Your preparation is actually elite. You're stretching, you're coming way early, you isolate yourself in a little area away from the court to stretch and get physically ready. Do you also mentally prepare for every game? Especially, I know that you're reffing at many different levels, but when you ref at high-level VJBL games, do you get mentally ready before games? And if you do, what do you do for that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely stay fit. It's one of my strengths. I like to stay fit because I need to be as fit or not fitter than the player, so I can get to my positions early enough to be able to see the plays. Mentally, definitely. And what I do is sometimes I do listening to relaxing music, relaxing songs, and I do. So one of the mental aspect of the game with referee, and the reason we get there early is before the game starts, you need to be opposite side of the scorer's bench and just watch the players. So as you are watching the players, you are seeing, and a lot of things you pick up on just watching the player, the characters, who's the shooter, who's the best player, and so on and so on and so on.
So during warm-up, yeah?
During warm-up, exactly right.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So we are already watching them and seeing the characters, seeing, centers, how they are. So it's just sort of you are prepared for what is about to come. Mentally, like I say, I listen to music. I always try to stay relaxed, composed, and just wait for the game to come to me. So I'm not trying to force myself and find fouls and find violations and find anything. No, I wait for the game to come to me. And one of the ways I do it is I make sure I make all my calls about 2 to 3 seconds later. So it gives me time to think about it and see if there is any advantage or disadvantage. Is it necessary to make that call? I'll call it. So I don't rush it to call the foul. I call it, I see it, I think about it, then I make the call late. It does a few things. First of all, the coaches see that you thought about it. They didn't just react to the contact. And also, for myself, it gives me a chance to think about the number, think about the foul, what kind of foul, and so on. As a matter of fact, by the rules, a referee can make a call up to 3 seconds later, which is a long time. And 1, and 2, and 3, bang. So it's a long time. So yeah, we have a lot of time. Don't have to rush your calls.
Do you find that some coaches or players then complain that it's a late call?
They might say it's a late call, and that's great. And the answer for that is, it is the right call. Right. It is late, yes, but it's the right call. Right. So you want the right call, or you want the wrong call quick?
That's wisdom right here, people. That's actual wisdom right here. Right here. All the coaches listening, listen to this. So touching upon that a little bit, there's a lot of emotions in a basketball game.
Correct.
From everywhere, from the players, from the coaches, the players, the people in the stands, especially high level and even low level. In fact, you watch some of those young kids games on Friday night here, and it's wild. It's wild. Emotions are flying high. How do you not get carried away by that? And how do you manage all the different sort of parties' emotions? Like, how do you manage players' emotions? How do you manage coaches' emotions? How do you manage the spectators' emotions? The people on the table who might be a bit lost at times. How do you keep everything under control?
Good question, Alex. Very good question. Now, player's emotion. What I do myself, when I make a call, I tell the player straight away what he's done wrong. So I go foul on 5 for pushing, and then I walk off, I go and report the foul, and then I come back to my position. So the reason I tell him what he's done wrong straight away is because he might not believe he did, but it will make him think, okay, did I push? Was it? And then the time that I go to report the foul to the bench and come back, it gives him time to also calm down. I guess so. If he's too emotional, call the foul, tell him what he's done, and leave. So it is always good to tell the player what he's done before he actually gets emotional, because you're already communicating with him and you're telling him that he was a contact and a hands foul, whatever foul it was, and then walk off. There is no rush as a referee at any time. There is no need to rush. If the scorer's bench has made a mistake, blow your whistle, stop the clock, call a timeout if you need to, so 30 seconds timeout, go to the scorer's bench, fix the problem, and then come back onto the court. So there was a few questions that you asked. What was the other one? So I got lost because there was a few. So I talk about the scorer's bench. I talk about the player's emotion.
Coaches.
And
Coaches.
and coach's emotion again. Again, the same time. When you call the foul, tell the player, get out of there. Call the foul on the scorer's bench. So all this time I'm taking to tell the player, call the foul first before I look at the coach, is to give him time to calm down. And then I go to him if he really needs to, then I'll ask him, Coach, do you have any question? Or I'll say, Coach, can you ask, I'll come back to you at the proper time, because right now we have to continue with the game. It's just to give him time to calm down. I was a player myself and I was emotional, so I don't take foul anyone for emotion, showing emotion. But at the end of the day, the game has to also look in control. So if they're showing too much emotion, throwing arms in the air, and putting their hands on the hair and saying things like that, so now the spectators who are watching the game, they're starting to see that, why isn't the coach happy? Even the player, why isn't my coach happy? So as a coach, you also have to be accountable for staying calm, because it's not just about you or the players, it's about the spectators. They want to have a good experience to come to the game and watch a game and just enjoy the game where everybody gets along. People don't want to come in places where there's pushing each other, fighting each other, so they want to, it's an entertainment, not entertainment, but it's a game where people come to relax and watch the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's also a responsibility of the coach to stay calm and ask the question. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you one thing. If a coach sees there's something wrong and shows emotion, which I sort of tolerate, but then he starts saying things, that coach is losing credibility, because he's saying things, he's yelling things that everybody can hear, which is against the referee. And sometimes the referee, I'm not saying me, but some referees might take it personal and he thinks I'm not a good coach, or I'm not a good ref, or he thinks I'm not a good, I've done something wrong. And then he might, call some things that could be against you, or he wouldn't have called otherwise. My advice to every coach that is listening out there, you disagree with the call, tell the coach, ref, can I ask a question? If he say, yeah, okay, ref, what could he have done better in this situation? In this situation, he should have his hand straight up. Thank you, I'll tell him. So now what you create here is the referee is going to go away thinking, this coach is very calm. This coach wants to talk and he's asking a question, which is very good. Now, when I call the next foul against that team, I have to know exactly what to tell him. Okay? While if...
Great insights.
Yeah, because if he gets angry, I just go, nah, that's enough, because you're angry. Okay, I'm not going to talk to you. I don't have to, I'll give you a warning. That's a warning, coach, because you are, abusing me or something. But if you just keep asking questions, eventually you will notice there will be less calls against you.
I'm taking note of that.
Okay, you do. Please do.
I'm not sucking up to you, Ref, but I'm already doing that. We've got a rule in our academy that I'm the only person who can talk to the ref.
Good.
All right. Players are not allowed to talk. The only thing they can say is, what did I do wrong? If I can see,
Ask
if I see any complaints, if I see any, I guess, body language towards an extreme disappointment towards the ref decision, it's a sub straight away.
Yeah.
And they can be 10 years old, they can be 20 years old, it does not matter.
Yeah.
So
That's a good coach.
I just want to establish the culture of like,
Correct.
the ref is there, they've got their job to do. Your job is not to ref. Your job is
right.
not to play. My job is not to ref.
That's
My
right.
job is not to is to coach.
That's
the
right.
people on the scoring table, they're not the refs. They've got a job, is to score.
That's right.
I will have one part to play. And if are you not telling me how to coach?
Exactly right.
Why should I tell you how to ref?
Exactly right.
Do you see what I mean?
Exactly right. Same with the player. We don't tell them how to play. We don't tell them, oh, you missed a shot.
Yeah.
No,
No.
miss a shot, play on. That's okay.
That's right.
Go
That's
for the
right.
next one. And like by saying that, I'm not saying all referees are perfect. We make mistakes too. But, if you make, let's say, 5 to 8 mistakes in one game, that does not decide the outcome of the game. It does not decide the end result, because players take 30 shots, or teams take maybe 50 shots in one game, okay? And referees made 5 mistakes. It will not change the outcome of the game. The best team still should win.
So in that case, let's say that's an example, okay? There's a coach and a player and a team with let's say a negative culture. And for whatever reason, they are convinced that you are against them. And I'm hearing that all the time. Oh, we lost because the referee didn't call anything for us, which I always find out hard to believe. But, people have different perceptions on games. And everyone on the team, from the coach to the team manager to the parents on the side to every single player, they start having a negative attitude towards you. How do you regulate your emotions at that time T on the court when there's pressure and the game is tight and it's a high stakes game and everyone is on you,
Correct.
How do you actually stay cool and calm and composed and try to not go towards, oh, they're really annoying me, I'm going to call everything on them? How do you stay calm and collected there? What's your secret?
Well, my secret is simple. I'm here to referee the basketball game, and I'll be as fair as possible. Okay, this is my job. The players can be emotional, players can complain, players can do all that, but at the end of the game, I'm still a basketball referee, and I'm there to make the right call. So, and like I say, because of the emotion, players can get heated up, and it's up to the coach to calm the team up and focus them on what they have to do. Like you say, players are there to play, coaches are there to coach, referees are to referee, spectators are to spectate, and score bench are to score the game. So everybody has got a job or a function. So we're not trying to cross the boundary and try to do what my job or me doing your job. Like I say, we are not perfect. We make mistakes. But at the end of the day, as a referee, as a player, you have to continue focusing on your game and continue for, because as a matter of fact, every time you go and complain about a call, you're already taking your focus out of what has to be. Your focus channel should be 100% on the play, on the game. You are thinking about, how do I score next? How do I go past this player? Don't worry about the fouls. If it happens, my attitude when I used to play, if some a ref called a foul for me, I was actually acting surprised, because I was not expecting any fouls. I was just going to play, and this is what I'm here to do. Oh, foul, okay, thank you. Foul, I didn't think I foul. Oh, that's all right. It's no big deal. We still can win the game. It's still 10 minutes on the clock. We can still win the game. Let's think about the next play. The next play. Like I say, you coach, the referee are there to manage the whole game. Coaches are to manage their team. So if a player on the team start acting up and showing too much emotion, that negative emotion, this is like a domino effect. It escalates to the next player, to the next player. So as soon as that happens, the coach should get on to the player, say, calm down, this is enough, play on, don't worry about it. And same with the referees. So as soon as you see somebody carrying on, say, stop, that's enough, give him a soft warning sort of thing, or tell, you got to play on. This is what happened. This is a foul, don't worry about play on. and this is how it has to be managed. Like I say, I feel like everything that if I'm being paid, I'm a professional. So I have to do the game in a professional level. I can't show emotional act up because the player is emotional. Like I say, if he's emotional or he's show disrespect, all I can do is warn him and then give him a tech foul. This is part of the job. This is my job requirement is. And that's what I do. So I can't get into disputation with a player or take it personal, because when you start taking it personal, it's wrong. So player, like you say, they're emotional, they want to win, they believe they can win, they're going with everything, and they think that they might not win, or any decision can go against them that it might make them not win. But like I say, I repeat it to every coach and every player out there. Calls do not make you win. You still have to score the basket. And that's your focus has to be on how to score and how to stop the other team from scoring, because that's the only way you can win.
So what I'm hearing this is in par with what I'm thinking. So I've got a teaching background in a different life. I was a teacher. And I really find that refs and coaches have this educating mission. You know, you're here to educate players and coaches about the games, right? I'm here to develop players, so educating them about the game, but not just the game itself, about the behavior required to actually play the game at the best of their abilities, right?
Correct.
And that goes with the same as in a classroom. It goes with having a base level of discipline and having the tools to, well, making sure that the players who do not abide by that framework of discipline can understand a bit more. So in your case, it's warnings, technical fouls, ejection, and in a classroom, it's, you know, sending the kids to the principal, or sending warnings to the parents, or expelling them, you know. And nobody wants to do that.
No.
And I'm sure refs do not enjoy sending technical fouls.
Definitely not.
And it seems to be a completely misaligned view from coaches, players, spectators, that refs really enjoy giving technical fouls, that it's a pressure release, you know? What do you think of that?
Look, I agree that some referees do throw a technical foul very easily, because they feel the pressure, like I say, pressure relief, or they just want to assert their authority, or they just like thinking, like I said before, they think if anyone disputes my decision, they are saying that I'm not doing my job right, they are saying that I'm wrong, and therefore I have to protect the game and protect myself by throwing a tech foul. As you refereeing, you become an older, wiser person. You sort of learn to understand that, you know, and be a little bit more tolerant to players and things. And also, I just explain to players to calm them down. I know sometimes you can't calm down as much as you can. Like I say, you have the tools, and you have to use your tools. The warning, the technical foul, and the ejection, if it comes to that, they're like the last resort.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to do that. You want a nice, happy game. Everybody just comes in, plays the game. Like I said, they all do their job, and everybody goes home. Understand that there's always going to be a winner. There's always going to be a loser. As a matter of fact, there's no loser in basketball. Either you win or you learn. Okay, the L word is not for losing; it's for learning. Okay, and like you say, so the same thing with the teaching. So you have we as a authority figure in front of children, we have the responsibility to guide these players or children to the right direction. Many of them, maybe at home, they don't have the dynamic. There might be a difficult household where mommy, a single mom, or dad is divorced and they fight a lot or they scream a lot. Yeah. So basketball should be a place where they can come and find peace. Yeah. Basketball should be a place where they come and learn to have friends and work with other kids and together so they can achieve a goal. So I say, if anyone is getting out of hand, we are there to fix it. So we are supposed to go straight. If anyone is going to the left, the coach or the referee comes and says, no, go back to the right. This is where we are going. Right, yeah. Okay, so this is our job, exactly. Yeah. Especially if we are dealing with children.
Yeah, exactly right. I couldn't agree more with that. I couldn't agree more.
It was a good question, too.
Thank you. Do you find And I'm saying that from a coaching point of view, observing the reaction of other coaches or players at any level, from like domestic year ones all the way to the NBL and the NBA and even in EuroLeague. Do you find that there's been in the last maybe, I would say between 8 to 5 years, like a very strong increase in complaining to the refs?
Yes, it has been. And like I say, many people watch the NBA or even the EuroLeague,
Yeah.
and they see that. And those NBA coaches, they are leading the world when it comes to behavior, because everybody can watch them. And then what they do, people complain. Same thing with players in the NBA and EuroLeague. When they complain and act up, every child is watching him. They're gonna complain and do the same because that's kids are like sponges.
Yeah.
They catch everything.
Yeah.
So whatever they see, they copy. Whatever they see, they believe that's the way to go. And it's up to now the organizations, FIBA, NBA, Basketball Victoria, Basketball Australia, to send a strong message to, which Basketball Victoria has been doing, a strong message to coaches that, like you say, you are there to coach. He's there to ref. So you have complete different jobs. You can dispute his decision. Ask him a question, I should say. He will give you an answer. You may not like his answer, but this is it. He's not going to change his call. And to come back to what you say about disputing decision, I believe the reason they do dispute those decisions that way is because they want to make the referee doubt his next call. So it's not really because the foul is not there. You know the foul is there. So, but if he dispute decision and continue disputing, the referee is thinking the referee might think twice on the next call. It doesn't happen to me. Referee PK, whatever call is there, I'll call it. You can cry, you can laugh, you make it together. But if you if there's a foul, my job is to call it, and I'll call it.
So, do you think they're trying to put extra pressure, extra emotional pressure on the referee to affect whatever the next call is going to be like?
Exactly right. So this is the philosophy behind it.
Right.
If I ask him question, next time he's not going to call it because he thinks and everybody's thinking that he's wrong. But like I say, you need to be experienced and well-established referee, confident within yourself to continue making the right call. And it does work for many young referees or new referees. If you keep complaining, then he doesn't want to, especially young people nowadays, they don't like confrontation. They message everything. They don't go and talk to the person. They will message each other. They are in the same room, okay? Because they don't like interpersonal confrontation.
Yeah.
So if a coach is constantly on his ear, I foul here, foul there, he doesn't want that. And then he might start calling things that are not there, or might letting things go that he should have called. So this is the reason why they do it, and sometimes it works.
Right.
That's why they try.
There's one of my pet peeves is really seeing athletes who are the LeBron James of the world, the 6'8", 6'9", 110 kilos of muscles. They are the top of the game. They are the top 5 players in the world. Every single play. And as a result, I'm seeing my grade 1 players who are in Australia 6-7 years old doing exactly the same thing. So to counter that, when we train with my teams, I deliberately do not call every single foul. And every time someone complains, it's 1 point for the other team.
Good idea.
And it's an experiment I've been doing over several years. Every time I've got a new teams coming on in my programs or new players, it takes about a month. And within 1 month, no one talks. Added bonus, they all learn to play through contact. They all learn to transition from offense to defense very quickly because, strangely enough, that the player they're supposed to guard is not completely open taking a layup on the other side because they spend 5 seconds doing that.
Exactly right.
Boom, they pick them up straight away. So as a result, the whole team gets better. So is that something that you would like acknowledge as being a good experiment to do?
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, yes. This is a good experiment. Not just LeBron James, Luka Doncic, all the great players. They always do that, and that's what the players do. I strongly tell any referee out there that's listening to that, if a player does gestures or a coach do gestures, you need to talk to the coach or the player, because the gestures is more powerful than the words. If he says something to you, nobody can hear it, that's okay, because no one knows what's happening. But if you start doing gestures, everyone can see it. So the non-verbal communication is actually more stronger than the verbal communication, because the whole place knows exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, and anyone puts their hands up, does that, I straight away go to be, yeah, coach, please put your hands down. What's your question? Player, yep, that's enough. Can't do that straight away, because it's the way the game looks.
Yeah.
It's the way, and we have to as coaches and referees and managers, we have to protect our game, because we want people to come to the game. We want spectators, mothers, grandmothers, children to come and watch the game. So I'll tell you straight away, if many people of age, they won't be coming to a basketball game if there is always complaint, if my son is unhappy and he's doing that, and they're having, tough conversation with the referee. So we want people to come to watch the game and be happy and enjoy the game.
Man, PK, I'm a basketball purist. I'm a basketball purist in the real sense of the word, meaning that I cannot tolerate anything that spoils the game of basketball.
Correct. Yes,
starting with, I was watching some NBL games the other night. I'm not going to name any teams or any coaches, but it pains me to see coaches who are at the highest level of Australian sports behaving like children, because they didn't get the call they wanted. And it goes on and on and on and on. And I find the leniency of the referee at that level hard to believe. Like, in my head, I'm like, just take him. Take him. I don't care if it's the first 5 minutes of the game. Just get your stamp on the game straight away. But then there's that saying that says, and that was my question there, a good referee is invisible. So where do you draw the line there? Do you stamp on abuse straight away on the game, straight away in the first part of the game to really make sure that everybody knows you're in control? Or do you sort of step back and sort of let the game go a little bit before making those big decisions that can alter a game, really, from a coaching point of view?
Yeah, I like the last part, alter the game. So this is exactly the end result, and this is what you don't want. This is why you put your stamp down at the start of the game.
Right.
So I'd rather throw a tech foul 2 minutes into the game than 2 minutes at the end of the game, because then he can decide, depending on the score, he can decide the game. So by the time a coach is complaining and is doing that constantly, is because the referee already let him go too far. So when he starts, like I say, with the putting the hands up and doing the gestures, foul gesture, this is when you straight away go onto the coach and say, Coach, this is not allowed. If you need to have a question, talk to me, but gestures are not allowed.
Right.
So you are trying to cut off the warning, do the warning nice and early. So if he keeps continuing, then you give a tech foul early. So it's best to give the tech foul early in the game, not at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And like you say, by the time he comes to the end of the game and he's behaving like that, that means they already let him go for too long.
Yeah.
It's already too late now. Now you feel bad about giving a tech foul because you might decide the game.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
But you needed to. Coaches don't just start talking like that and going like that about one foul straight away. Like they will do it gradually, and then he start increasing the pressure pump more and more and more and more and more. So as soon as that first one happens, stop him.
Right.
Okay? Because otherwise he's gonna continue to escalate, and then, take foul at the end. It might be a 1-point game, and then you end up deciding the game with a tech foul, which is not what spectators come to watch. They want the game to finish in a 3-point, made a buzzer beater, something like that.
So,
not a technical foul.
So there are lots of games which I watched over the years, and even recently in Euro Cup, where the first half or the first 3 quarters are very fluid. You know, the refs are making themselves as invisible as possible. And then in the last quarter, they call everything. In your perception, good refereeing or bad refereeing? Or is there a logic to that?
The logic to that is, obviously, at the end of the game, there's more intensity. There's, things, the dynamic change because the teams are staying out there close to the game. They may all win or not win. They might change the way they are playing. So that could be one of the reasons. But the other reason, what I do personally, start of the game, I always call the first foul. Okay, to get me into the rhythm and ready to call. Because, yes, start of the game is usually very calm. The teams are feeling each other. They're just getting sense of, they're running their plays nice and soft. And you can get caught up as a referee on this is nice and good, that's easy. This is going to be that way until the end. No. Games changes the intensity at some stage. And as a referee, you can read sometimes those stages. One stage the game can change is a team scores, you look at the coach, time out, time out, time out. So he's not happy. He wants to talk. He's going to go and tell the players, you are not playing well, you have to play, you do. So when the players come in, intensity changes. And then you have to be ready for the more fouls to happen then. Okay, you as a referee, you can't control the way players play the game, but you can control and try to read it before it happens. You can see and read the game and say, okay, he called a timeout, he's not happy, they are coming in. There will be a different dynamic now.
Right.
Either they're going to press, or they're going to play man on man, or they're going to change their strategy. Obviously, if a team is playing zone, there's not many fouls happen. But if it's man on man or press, there's more likely that more fouls happen. But like I say, as a referee, start of the game, call the first foul. Even the game is a bit dead, there's no intensity, make sure you are calling the fouls that are there. So when they start escalating, you are ready for it. And you're also going to be able to make the right calls. You just have to call the game as it comes. Yeah. I mean, I can't tell the player don't play hard or don't try hard. Yeah. But you can, like I say, whatever comes, you'll be ready for it.
So I guess calling that first foul gets you in that mental space that you need to whatever the game is gonna, whatever direction the game is gonna take.
The game is gonna go to, then you are ready for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
No, it is.
So I guess I've got 2 more questions.
Sure.
The first one is if to read it.
Yeah, go for it. Take your time.
Sorry, too many questions.
By the way, while Alex is getting his question there, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, comment on this video, and also make sure to share this content to anybody that you know or are interested in learning more about relationship between basketball referee and also a coach. And if you live in Melbourne, make sure to check Hoop School. This is Alex, Alex's school. It is great. I've seen Alex doing his work. You'll be amazed how much the kids are going to learn, not just the game of basketball, but also to become a better person in general. Yeah, Alex, you got your questions?
Thank you. I appreciate the little plug.
You're welcome, anytime.
So this is my question. How can I phrase that? Hi, mate. Sorry, it's gone again.
No, that's okay. Okay. Well, while we are waiting for Alex to rephrase this question, what else can I tell you about refereeing? So I'll tell you a bit about myself. I've been refereeing for 20 years, always in Victoria. I enjoy the game. I started refereeing as a C grader in Pakenham, then I went from Pakenham right through to Broadmeadows, from Broadmeadows to MSEC, and I've been in MSEC for the last probably 10, 15 years or so. Alex, you ready?
Apologies, my phone.
All good, all good.
All my questions on my phone. What is then your approach at the start of a game? Do you go and talk to both teams and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be calling the game as it goes, but I let players play? Or are you more like, be physical but fair? Because I remember as a player, like the best refs I had in my environment were the refs who were always telling us what was going to happen, what were their coaching, their reffing philosophy, so we could come in the game ready to adapt.
Yeah, so definitely, first thing I do, I go and talk to the scorers, make sure they know what they're doing, say hi, who's doing what, so I know what's happening. Then we greet the coaches, both coaches. What I do not do, I do not say to the coach what I'm going to call, because what happens is if you don't call it or he thinks it happened, it's going to go mental. I always tell the coach I'm going to call the game as it comes. So I'm going to, whatever I see, I'm going to call it.
That's great. That's great to know.
That's
That makes perfect sense. Thank you.
That's it. You're welcome. Well, we're going to wrap this up. So thank you so much for watching. Like I say, contact me down here. I'll pass it on to Alex if you have your child that wants to learn to play the game of basketball, or if you want to subscribe to my channel to learn more about the game of basketball and the rules. I'm always happy to come in and help. Until the next episode, is your coach your coach PK and Alex Pretori, coach, referee, relationship, all good. I always give you my best. Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks, Alex.
That was good.